All right, I'm going to give you a formula for easily creating binge-worthy content as a digital marketer, right? And this is going to work for you even if you are selling a course in the Make Money Online space, for example, and you don't have results yet. This is the best formula for beginners. Now, at the start of this video, you may have noticed that I said binge-worthy content and not viral content. And that's extremely important here because we want views, but ultimately what we want is sales, right? If we're selling something on the internet, we want sales. And the way to get sales from the internet is to get people to binge our content, right? The more content people watch of ours, the more time they spend with us at scale on social media, the more time they have invested with us, the more likely they are going to be to buy our stuff, right? To invest actual money with us. So this is a formula that is super easy to use because it has nothing to do with results. What I want you to do first is I want you to think about any major motion picture, any major movie, right, that you've seen, right? The first thing we're going to do is think about the movies that we watched, and we're going to dispel the myth that you need to have results to make money in the Make Money Online space. Think about the movie. Like, let's take Rocky, okay? What happens at the end of the movie? He wins the fight. Let's take Moana, not the second one. That one sucked. Let's talk about the first Moana, right? At the end, she replaces the heart of Tafiti, right? Those are two examples of the success or the resolution, right? If you were a digital marketer comparing yourself to those movies, replacing the heart of Tafiti would be like you making your first sale or your first commission. Yet we watch the entire movie not for the resolution or success, right? That just ties a nice little bow on it. We watch an entire movie for the compelling content, right? Think about any Netflix miniseries that you've binged, some 10-part series that you knocked out on a Sunday, right? Have you ever done that? Right, I'm in and watching Walking Dead right now. I didn't catch it the first time, and my wife really wants me to watch it with her, and so I've gotten into it. It's pretty good. And we'll binge a couple episodes at a time, and we're ripping right through the seasons. But here's the thing. There's really no resolution. They're still doing the same thing. They're running from zombies or walkers or whatever you want to call them. And there's really no success in sight. Every day is just trying to survive. But it's compelling content, right? And that's how we have to think about our content on social media. We aren't just the success story, especially if we don't have it yet. We're the compelling content. And if we're an organic marketer, we need to become the compelling content. We need to become the content of choice. We need to become the bingeable Netflix miniseries. And the reason is because we are not paying for reach, right? Like advertisements, right? They pay big money to interrupt our content of choice. And we're not going to do that. So we have to be the content of choice for our audience. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to create a content story arc, right? This is going to follow the script of every major movie, but you're going to do this with your digital marketing journey. You're going to build in public. This will work if you're in the Make Money Online space. This will work if you're promoting a weight loss product. This will work if you're promoting a product that helps people fix their marriage or take out gluten or whatever, especially if you're going through it yourself, because you can simply document your journey. So this right here, all this stuff is the compelling content. This is the binge-worthy content. This resolution and success is just validation down the road. So it starts off like this, right? I'm going to run you through this chart really quickly. This is life as a general rule. Some days are better than others. Some days are worse than others, right? It's a pretty flat line. But what happens here is eventually we look at our life and say something has to change, right? I'm in the Make Money Online space, so I'm going to stick with someone buying a digital marketing course in order to make money online, maybe becoming an affiliate marketer to make money online, right? There is a point where the feeling of pain, the feeling of what am I going to do, or the uncertainty about our financial future becomes greater than the pain of not taking action. So that's our inflection point. That's when we go out there and commit to digital marketing. That's when we go out there oftentimes and invest in a course. Well, here's the weird thing about that, right? We're doing something to try to improve our life, but the moment we invest in a course, our life actually gets worse, right? That's this dip right here. And we can share those feelings to help overcome the objection that people have about getting started. You know, we can tell the stories of how, gosh, I was pretty financially strapped, and the first thing I did was made it worse by spending $500 on a course. And I didn't have any time freedom, which is why I wanted to do digital marketing in the first place. But the second I invested in a course, not only now do I have to work my 9 to 5, but I have to find another hour or two a day to actually learn how to build this business, right? So we can be very forthcoming with that and be like, yeah, that's part of the deal. If you want great things, you got to take a step back first, right? If you want to plant a tree, the first thing that happens is the taproot goes down, right? So you have to go down before you go up. It's just the law of nature, right? Think about a mama bird. It pushes the babies out of the nest. They don't just start flying. Sometimes they fall to the ground, but that's part of the process. So help people understand that financial investment that they might be dreading, that's part of the deal, right? That's the price of admission. Then you talk about your commitment to change and the massive action that you're taking, right? That'll become inspirational to your audience. And that's what people like to see on social media. They don't want to see ads. They want to be inspired. People go on social media because they're depressed or they want a dopamine hit or they're bored, right? So inspirational content does well, inspire people with your commitment to change and massive action. Tell the stories about how you're getting up every day an hour early or staying up an hour later, or you're learning all these things and it makes your brain want to explode but you're doing it because of your external desires, right? And external desires are the things that we want, like the vacations or the cars or the bags and stuff like that. Talk about those things because that's a very tangible thing that gets people excited. But as we continue to create content over the next week or two, right, talk about the excitement and increased optimism that we're having surrounding the new opportunity, right? You're probably not getting results yet. Content's probably not performing well yet, but talk about how you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Right? How you're actually starting to make progress on a regular basis. That's going to inspire people to take action because it seems doable. Now, when you're talking about this, also talk about your internal desires, right? How does it make you feel that you're out there working towards a better life, right? How does it make you feel when people look at you and say, oh my gosh, you're helping me, or wow, you're inspiring me? How does it make you feel when people give you an increased level of significance by commenting on your posts, right? Maybe they're not buying anything yet, but they're making you feel more significant because you're the creator now, right? Talk about all those things because that really moves people at a level that they can't quite fathom and materialize like the external desires. So we have both forces working on them. And as you continue to build in public and share your journeys, share your tiny and achievable wins, no matter how seemingly insignificant they seem to you. Right? Don't compare you launching a funnel or creating your piece of content or getting your first comment or getting your first lead or getting your first piece of content that gets more than 200 views. Do not discount that. Do not compare it to the thousands of dollars that you see. Because what's going to happen is your audience is beginners who are skeptical of the people who are making thousands and thousands of dollars and they don't think it'll work for them. It seems too insurmountable of a task, right? So share the tiny and achievable wins so people see you making progress. So they also see the steps that they think to themselves, man, maybe I can do this. I can certainly create my first piece of content, right? Build the belief in them because once people believe they will get results, well, then they're going to buy the course from you, right? And finally, also share your setbacks and struggles, your doubt, your motivation loss, any moral dilemmas, right? Like, is it good to buy a course and resell a course if you don't have any results, right? Like, talk about that. Address those things head on because what that's going to do is it's going to overcome some objections, help people form new beliefs that are more in line with them buying your course. And also it's going to make you seem human, right? That vulnerability is a big human connector. And if people see us as human, not just some marketer trying to sell them stuff, they're going to be more likely to buy stuff from this. And just use all these whenever you feel inspired to talk about your feeling of pain or loss or your commitment to change and massive action, right? Just keep creating this type of content. You're going to become the compelling content. And you can say the same things again and again and again in a different way because digital marketing isn't about talking to a bunch of people in a room who can't leave. Digital marketing is about talking to a parade of people that is going by. So when this person goes by, it might hear your tiny achievable win of launching your funnel, but they might stick around, they might buy, they might not, but eventually you're going to have a new person coming by who hasn't heard this story yet, and they need to hear it. And your goal as a marketer It's not to fill up a room of people. Your goal as a marketer is to slow the parade down long enough so a group of people, an audience, start gathering around you, and some of them come over to buy. All right, if you can commit to this, I think you'll be a lot better and your content will come a lot easier. If you want to see the whole content story arc training, this is part of my mentorship community called the Level Up Digital Marketing Alliance. That's specifically for digital marketers who are struggling to get through the dip of despair where they're doing the work but haven't seen the results yet, or got some results but can't scale. And the cool thing about this community is I don't have to show you all the amazing stuff that's in here, because linked down in the bio or the description, or depends on where you're watching this video, maybe in the comments, you're going to see an opportunity to get a 7-day free trial. So you can come in, no risk, see for yourself. If you like it, stick around. If you don't, no worries. Just cancel before your 7 days is up and you won't be billed. But at the very least, you'll be able to access the content story arc from the classroom and really understand that. I've also got some other great trainings in there that are really going to help you out. And it's free to check it out. Doesn't cost anything. Worst thing that can happen is you learn a bunch of stuff and you leave without paying a dime, and it changes your life forever. So maybe you come back in the future.